It's just that meat wrapping itself around you in its embrace. Welcome to season 6, where we're phoning it in.
You don't think critically and then put a Pop-Tart into your body.
I am highly caffeinated and minorly concussed.
Aruga!
What came first, the love sack or the gravity gun?
It's my turn to do a sin with Sonic.
This is for the freaks.
Too much piss.
That's the kind of bad decisions we like to hear about.
Love me a sleepy ass bat.
How much shrimp can you fit in your mortal body?
You told me you guys would be cool.
That's season 6 intro material right there.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how 2023 has been so good for games that I still have barely touched Final Fantasy XVI, which came out like 5 months ago.
That's unbelievable.
Not on
That
brand.
feels like a cry for help.
Yeah.
It's not on brand.
Okay, wait, hold
Yeah.
on. How much of you not playing Final Fantasy 16 is because you've been spending too much time playing Final Fantasy 15?
I am backlogged on Final Fantasy 14 as well.
Whoa.
Just too many Final Fantasy. It's the meme of the guy carrying all the things, but it's Final Fantasy titles and Andrew.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking their candle budget is $3,000 and help my family is starving.
Yeah. That's it. No, the two culprits are Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3. That's what I blame.
I was going to say the advice is quit playing Baldur's Gate. No.
Yeah. Now I'm just going backwards to play Baldur's Gate 2 and all of the other CRPGs of that era.
Shadows of Om is good.
Shadows of Om is good. So, listeners, when you do a show for as long as we have, you start to run out of ideas.
Todd wouldn't know anything about that.
Hold on.
First off, shut up. Also, what an opening to an episode.
I had this written down.
We have a whole document of ideas, man.
I think all my favorite comedies, though, do have that episode around the 100 episode range that is like, we've done all this before, right? You've all seen this. You've all watched this bit before. You're going to still laugh at it. Here we go. And they make a joke out of retelling the same jokes.
It's the double-edged sword of we do have a lot of good bits, and those bits have a lot more depth to them.
Yeah.
So we end up, it's one of these things where we end up retreading ground and we do sequels to sequels.
Well, famously, the best episode of The Office is the second time Kevin takes chili into the office.
That's right. That's right. What everybody remembers. Unrelated, here I am with my 3 aging dads who have gone from proud grade school papas protecting me on the schoolyard, see episode 60, my 13 dads, to widowers who have each moved on and found new partners whom they introduced uncomfortably at an undisclosed holiday dinner party. See also episode 80, my man-sized stepwolf.
Can we talk about that episode real quick?
Do we have to?
We can.
Because didn't Matt bring the anthropomorphic bunny?
He did.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, it was a weirdly sexy holiday dinner party.
Just let Matt stew in his sins.
I don't want to do that.
And now 2 years later, so many more years have passed since then, and they are now aging into the ripe old age of AARP eligibility.
That sentence was a trip.
How many Toyota-thons has that been?
Several Honda days. So many Toyota-thons that we have gone into Honda days.
A
Ladies
number
and
of
gentlemen,
Kia sign and drive events have passed.
one whole Kia sign and drive event. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love the opportunity to reintroduce you all to my 3 dads. Matt, Sid Polendina Cole, Todd, Headmaster Sid Kramer Thomas, and Kyle, Sidolphus Demon Bunansa Harper.
Are these...
Is Sid... No, you go ahead, Kyle. You do yours.
These are all the same person across different Final Fantasy titles.
That's a good guess. These aren't the same person. That's a good guess.
A man named Sid who is immortal and appears in every Final Fantasy game as a different character.
These are all a man named Sid. Todd, did you want to
Square
take
Enix,
a
you
swing?
can steal that idea. You can use that idea, Square Enix.
Have that one for free.
Kyle's idea is better than what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say everyone is just a descendant.
Not quite. So these are all Sids.
A different member of the Sid line.
These are all definitely Sids, which we've established several times. There's always a Sid in Final Fantasy. These are all Sids who are dads.
There are so many Sids that we have to classify as Sids that are dads.
Yep. Sid Polendina is a playable character in FF4, and he's kind of like a surrogate dad to the white mage character Rosa. Sid Kramer is the principal of the battle school that you run in FF8, who is like, you find out the big twist of FF8. He's like your kind of adopted dad. He's the adopted dad of all the main characters who lived in a weird orphanage. It's fine. And then Sidolphus Demon Bunansa is the only official dad. He is the blood relative bio dad of main character Balthier in FF12, and he's also a psychopath.
Oh.
Your explanation made it that much better of a naming convention for all of us, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really breathed some life into that.
Sure.
I'm calling it. In Final Fantasy 17, Square Enix is going to reveal that those are all the same immortal
person. Yeah.
living through different timelines.
It's one Sid who done got Norded.
Yeah.
If they did do that, I guarantee you there'd be at least one YouTube video to explain it.
At least
Do you
one.
ever see two Sids on the same screen at the same time?
You do
True.
not.
Yeah.
That
Good
pointing to
question.
Kyle square.
Yeah,
There,
yeah.
X gets the square.
Yeah.
A Square Enix.
Fuck.
Good.
If Square Enix ever does anything remotely close to this, I'm not going to be able to shut up about it for a whole year. You're going to hear about it for a year's
whole
worth of
Final
podcast.
Fantasy.
For a whole Final Fantasy, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And much like things aren't impossible, all three of you have given so much impossible things to me, your collective son.
Have we?
A 500-year-old wolf who can talk and shoot fireballs.
Yeah.
An incredibly uncomfortable sexy holiday dinner with a bunny-eared time stepmom who who refuses to wear anything but lingerie.
It was one time.
That's exactly how Matt sold the pitch, too. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
And of course, who could forget the bully-kicking circle comprised of Kyle's 13 buddies from the bar.
It is still the funniest joke we've ever made in this podcast.
And that bully never bothered you again, did he?
Never again. Now, my three dads, it's time for me to finally give you something back in return. It's an all-expenses-paid permanent retirement to a location from a Final Fantasy game. However, big asterisk, I don't have a lot of money. So, I can't afford anything like lived in or civilized like a town or a city. Also, I can only afford to buy one flight/plan our shift for one of the three of you. So, please, each of you one by one, tell me the dungeon and or unsettled wasteland that you've decided on and what game it's from. We're going to start with Matt.
Andrew, first off, the phrase permanent retirement fills me with some worry, but we can address that
Yeah,
later.
it's coded.
Second off, Andrew, my soft, squishy, frail little son boy.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you to take interest in my retirement. Well, good news. I think I found the perfect spot to take root, if you catch my drift. It'll be just
Well, I
like
don't, because you're setting up a joke, but that's fine.
well, if you would anyway. It'll be just like the old days, son. You remember all those great summer weekends we spent camping in the deep woods of Appalachia, don't you? Well, we're going to recapture that magic and reconnect to nature when you help me relocate to Macalania Woods.
I don't want to think about the ramifications of Appalachia and Macalania Woods existing on the same traversable map.
Macalapshania. And anyway, that's right, Andrew. I'm looking to retire in the Mystic Forest from Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X2.
Was that X to 2?
Yeah.
It's X minus 2, right?
that's
yeah,
what it
X
is.
minus 2.
X
Yeah,
minus 2 is much better.
It's just 8
it's an equation. No. It's X. You have to solve for the variable.
Yeah, you have
It's
to
X
solve
minus
for,
2.
we're solving for X, Todd.
Final Fantasy X minus 2 solve for X.
Yeah. Final Fantasy PEMDAS.
You know Macalania. It's that wondrous plot in North Spira, but still south of the lake, where fireflies dance in the moonlight and where we infuse water with those fireflies to make spheres or whatever. It's going to be a real life of tranquility for me, son, and I couldn't be more excited.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent coming out of the gate here, Matt. Very interested in hearing more about Macalania.
Is it Macalania?
It's Macarena from the video.
Oh, God.
Macarena.
Yeah, correct.
I have heard it Macalania, but I like it being Macalania with your comparison to Appalachia.
I do like that, yeah.
Yeah, so let us make it official.
Well, that would actually probably make it Macalania.
That's true.
Yeah, Macalania is a regional pronunciation of it, much like the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah.
The Appalachian Mountains.
All right, well, let's move over from Rad Dad to Bad Dad. Todd, what do you got?
Oh, well, hey there, my small choleric son. It's been a while. How long has it been exactly?
I think we've established it's one whole Honda days.
Who's to say? Regardless, I am back.
It's long enough that he's not our small sickly son anymore, but a grown healthy adult.
Sickly man.
A grown sickly man doing his best. Well, I just, who knows how long it's been, but I am back with the milk and scratchers I said I was going to go get for us back in season 4. Anyway, hey, champ, let's just jump in my bitchin' convertible and let's just go for a drive to scope out some prime retirement real estate. Just a mile or two up the road. Yeah, you know how I'm always talking about wanting to take you to go visit old war sites? Because, dads are famously into old war sites. Well, today we're going to go take a drive out to visit the ruins at Castlemark Tower, made famous by the greatest driving sim ever launched, Final Fantasy 15. So, as we're going up the road, we're just going to go check out these ruins. We're going to go check it out. We're going to walk around a bit. We're going to read some, what I assume are historical placards that tell about the battles that happen here. And just, think of the brave sacrifices made by a once strong king who sacrificed himself and all of his men to seal some demon in the ruins in search of limitless knowledge and power. Andrew, rumor has it that there's still some technological wonders to be found underneath those ruins up ahead. Hey, just real quick, one more thing. What size helmet do you wear? And how good are you at swinging comically sized swords? No particular reason for asking. Can't just a dear old dad make conversation with his anemic son? Isn't that just a...
Well, unfortunately, my bones are paper, or my bones are glass and my skin is paper thin, so not very well.
Well, for what it's worth, I mean, a lot of the protagonists' arm to sword handling ratio aren't direct, so I think we'll probably be okay.
Okay.
Just get the sword swinging arm ready, champ.
Where are we going?
Castlemark Towers.
Okay.
It's a set of old ruins.
Got it.
Really buried the lead on that one.
Yeah, I said that.
He said it.
I made it.
He said
Did you? Okay,
Oh,
I might have missed
I
it.
missed it totally.
Yeah.
I might have missed it. That's
well, if you would spend more time playing famous driving sim Final Fantasy 15, you'd know about Castlemark Towers.
Everyone's favorite driving and ramen sim, Final Fantasy 15.
I was going to go this whole episode without bringing up the ramen insert, but you did it.
We must never let anyone forget.
Todd, everyone knows ramen is the big draw to Castlemark Tower.
Yeah.
Well, no, ramen's the big draw for Final Fantasy 15. That's actually not part of a joke. That's just a thing that happens in that game.
Wait, hold on. Okay, 2 questions. Question number 1, Final Fantasy 15, that was the cup noodles bit, right?
That's the cup noodles
Yeah,
bit.
that's it.
Yep. You got
Question
it.
number 2, Final Fantasy 15, I've lost track. Is that a game that is live service and they update, or is
It's
that a
not
package
live
deal?
service. It's just, it came out at a time. It was the most expensive game.
Right.
It had 7 years of development, and they just it was just hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
So there was a few native ads inserted in there. So in Final Fantasy 15, in this universe, there were demons and magic exists. Also, the very real brand Cup Noodles exists, as well as Coleman. Coleman and Cup Noodles are 2 brands that very much exist in this.
We can move on quickly after this question. Is this a case where it was developed on the PS2 era and then The PS3 came out.
PS3.
And then
PS3 to PS4, yeah.
Oh, it's PS3 to 4. Okay.
Yeah, listeners at home and not my three co-hosts because they don't care. Just search Final Fantasy Versus 13 and you can understand the 7-year development cycle that was Final Fantasy 15.
Well, I ask because Cup Noodles recently announced that they're going to be repackaging into microwave safe packaging, and I was curious.
And
if
half
there
the
would
Cup
be-
Noodles customer base went, you can't microwave the Cup Noodles cup now?
That's really funny.
And I
is
thought
really
that'd
funny.
be a fun thing for them to put in Final Fantasy 15. So maybe when they do Final Fantasy 15 -2, they can slide
Yeah.
that in there.
Maybe.
There was also, I don't know if this is the first one that did more of like an exploratory Final Fantasy. Like the fact was you could get into a car and just fucking drive around. You just went cruising.
I can do that in Fortnite.
That is true. It's very true.
A famous 1-to-1 comparison, Final Fantasy 15. and
Fortnite is basically Final Fantasy 15.
That's
We are one Sephiroth sword away from Fortnite being Final Fantasy.
Oh,
at
and
this
you think
point.
it won't happen? You think they won't give that?
I would stake my reputation that it will.
If I don't get to see Sephiroth Kamehameha himself across a map.
Sometime in the long curve of the universe, a Sephiroth sword will be put into Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to see Sephiroth hit the gritty.
So, all right. So we've got a trip to the mountains of West Virginia. We've got a trip to Gettysburg. Kyle, what do you got?
Andrew, I can tell you exactly where I would like to spend my twilight years. While your other dads are looking for, the quiet and solitude that can be found in the mountains, or touring the country of old war sites, hoping to get a bit of the glory that they never got to get in their own life, I want to retire somewhere active, somewhere with culture, somewhere that'll keep me young, surrounded by like-minded people. And that is why, son, I want to retire at the Vault, a developing area in the Holy See of Ishgard.
Tell me more.
You see, I don't want a passive retirement. I want to finally do the things that I couldn't do and see the things that I couldn't see in all of those years of adventuring and child rearing and
Because you were holding him back.
and bullying. And living in a big city is a key part of that. Living in the Vault would put me right in the heart of Ishgard and give me an easy access to all the culture and hustle and bustle that you find there for a fraction of the price, because it's underground and it's a dungeon. But that's fine. It's location, right? I even found this nice retirement community there that has all these great packages and treatments you can add on. I got the brochure here. Let me read it for you. Yeah, so they call it a massive multi-occupant retired persons gathering
Shut up.
That's really good.
called Final Fantasy. In our final years, we're living our fantasy. And I have some questions, but this flyer has a lot of information on it. This massive multi-occupant retired persons gathering is part of
really
a larger franchise. This is actually the 14th Final Fantasy facility that they have built. And they're trying to have it completely full by the time they open. So they're running this crazy deal right now. Look, it's right here in the pamphlet. Did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and an award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restrictions on playtime? We get no restrictions on playtime here, Andrew. I can live my golden years to their fullest.
Dance, puppets, dance.
Let's stepping away from that incredible bit for a second.
It's really good.
If you actually saw a retirement community called Final Fantasy, it is one of two things. Either they are killing old people there.
Either it's a Soylent Green factory.
Definitely a Soylent Green situation.
Or it's deep perv content. It is
Yeah.
extra pervy.
Porque no los dos.
a Soylent Green factory, or they hook old people into the Matrix to
for perv stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Andrew's right. Porque no los dos. It's one or the other.
A little bit of column A and column B. Incredible, Kyle. Incredible. Oh, weird. I'm seeing it. This is weird. I'm seeing a footnote here. It also includes, now it's up to level 70, and also includes the critically acclaimed adjacent expansion, Stormblood. That's so weird. That's so weird.
They must have gotten a new flyer out. I'll have to hop online.
It's wild. No, I mean these things just change all the time. Well, this is excellent. So Matt's taking me to Morgantown, West Virginia. Todd is taking me to Gettysburg, and Kyle's taking me to Duquesne University. So that's fun.
It's really more Parkersburg, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Holy See of Ishgard is just a big analogy for the Pope in
Yeah, it's the
Catholicism.
Vatican.
Yeah, it's the Vatican.
It's Final Fantasy Vatican.
Well, you all are just enterprising individuals, my dads. I've seen you befriend beings from ancient civilization and tame lesser gods to do your bidding. Surely you three can build a home in this new, potentially probably hostile environment you found yourselves in. So tell me how you're going to make a new home for yourselves in your golden twilight years of life. Make sure you also attract other people your age to this new boomer paradise, because I wouldn't want you to spend your best years alone in exile, because I won't be there.
Man, Andrew, I'm so glad you asked.
Because I care.
Do you remember that dream I used to talk about? No, not that one, the other one. The one
of times gone by.
It's Final Fantasy.
The one where I always dreamed of becoming the franchise owner of a national food chain. Well, I think
that dream.
Matt's putting some of his real self into this
Art
answer.
imitates life.
Oh, you just wait. Well, I think moving to Macalania is the perfect opportunity for me to follow that dream, based on the local ecosystem that already exists. So let me explain. See, your old man doesn't have to reside in a place very long before he's fully in tune with the locals. And it only took a few scouting trips to the Macalania Woods to discover the thriving local music scene. There are these three cool cats called the Musicians, who are actually the ancestral protectors of Macalania Woods. Now, I told them, I think their band name is a little bit clunky, but it's kind of working for The World is a Beautiful Place, and I'm no longer afraid to die, so maybe it could work for them. Also, none of those cool cats are cats. One's a frog, one's a bird, one's a mouse. Not important. What is important
Sure.
is that these guys totally rip, son. And the people of Spira, the boomers of Spira, will flock to see them perform when they announce their residency at the all-new Macalania Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Oh my God.
Good.
Of which I am the franchise owner.
It's concerning on two levels: the anthropomorphic animals that are making music. One, that we so quickly, I feel like, went past that. You said a frog, a bird, something else.
Mouse. Frog, bird, mouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Two, this is the second time you've brought an anthropomorphic animal to an answer, which, if I had a nickel, two nickels.
Which is triggering Todd's pervert alarm.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
I would argue that
sure
Bunny
you would.
Lady is not really an anthropomorphic animal.
Well, she has a name, Matt.
I don't remember it.
It's Fran.
Fran.
And I'll thank you to remember your new wife's name.
Andrew's stepmom's name.
Yeah.
Put some respect on your chest.
I would argue that Fran is less of an anthropomorphic animal and more of a sexy bunny lady with animal properties.
Those corporates ask you to find the difference in this picture. They're the same picture.
I don't
Please
want us
continue.
to breeze past the reality Matt posited here, which is your actual retirement age dad saying, and these cats really rip, son. To you about like the bluegrass band that was playing at the brewery he was at last night.
In his defense, he is Rad Dad. Like, that was something that Rad Dad would say.
And again, the comparison that these cats rip. No, this mouse frog bird combo rips. These Disneyland animatronics really rip, son.
The Countryland, yeah, Matt's
Avery.
taking you. His big sell is that they have the Countryland Bears playing every night.
I'm going to defend him and say this is all on brand. Me and Rad Dad go and get drunk at Chuck E. Cheese all the time.
Yeah. Look, if you haven't taken shots at a Dave & Buster's before playing skee ball, you haven't lived, sad dad.
Fuck, man. All right. You got anything else?
I'm gonna land the plane at the Macalania Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Perfect.
That's it for me.
Todd, what you got?
Yeah, I think Rad Dad had called you Man Andrew, so I'm just going to shorten that and say Mandrew.
Sure.
Mandrew, you see, well, we're here at these ruins, and as you made the comparison to Gettysburg, Boomer Dads love Gettysburg. Like, outside of the bit, Boomer Dads love Gettysburg.
If you need to take your Boomer Dad somewhere, try Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Any place that is a war site that ends with burg, they're in.
Yeah.
Well,
or fort.
Yeah, fort.
Or fort. Starts with fort, ends in burg.
Ends with Berg.
Mm-hmm. So as you can see, we're here. We've checked out these ruins, and there are these spacious caverns underneath these old ruins that just perfectly complement the sprawling green space above. Up top, we got plenty of room for pickleball courts and lots of old stones to lean up against. You know how much we love just leaning up against old stones. Plenty of them up there. Now, you may think that using the word ruins to describe a place to build quite a utopia is a bad thing, but these right here, and I start slapping the stones, they're good bones. This is a good, healthy foundation in this here discarded military settlement of questionable history. It's a firm foundation of good bones. Now, underneath all these good bones down here in these ruinous caverns, we're going to put all the amenities that me and my drinking buddies could ever want. You see, over there, that's where we're going to put lawn chairs and hammocks. And over there, we're going to just put down some sod. It's just some nice reseeded grass so we can walk over and kind of kick at it. And talk about how good it's reseeding. That's just it's good, healthy grass there. Also, I think the kicker here is with all of this subterranean cavern being enclosed in space, we're just going to set up a limitless row of Traegers to smoke our exotic land animal meats. Now, knowing that we've created a subterranean paradise, we're just going to be hotboxing ourselves in meat smoke 24/7. And I think if that's not the dream, then I don't know what it is. Do you want me to say hotboxing ourselves in meat smoke again?
Honestly, I'm kind of there, and I don't know exactly what got me there, but I'm kind of there with you.
It's the hot box of meat smoke.
It might be the hot box of meat.
The sturdy stones to lean up against.
I kind of think it was the sturdy stones to lean up against.
If everything smells like meat smoke, you won't notice that your clothes are drenched in the scent of meat smoke when you go home from the barbecue. So it works out.
Well, and further, every time you come back to the meat smoke, it's like a sweaty protein hug is what it is.
Sure.
It's just that meat wrapping itself around you in its embrace.
They don't tell you this. If you stand in and breathe meat smoke for an hour, you get 2 grams of protein added to your macros.
Massive protein gain.
I think what I'm struggling with and why this is clicking for me so much is the only thing that's missing here is a home brewer's kit, and you have effectively created a mid-30s millennials paradise.
Well, for what it's worth, so one, I do want to reiterate Kyle's bit about you are gaining protein mass via osmosis, which is a pretty big deal. Since meat smoke rises because science, the condensation will gather on the ceiling, so we aren't too far away from turning this into some sort of brewery paradise where we are using the contained and recaptured meat smoke water to make a nice smoky gross ale, which seems like the kind of thing that we can get into as father and son.
Boy,
Castlemark is famous for their SGAs, their SGA beers, smoky gross ales.
Smoky gross ales.
Wait till you try the double smoky gross ale.
Oh yeah,
that air just circulates through a couple cycles, and it's really potent.
I really wish I wasn't unironically there with you. All right, maybe we should move on. Kyle, what have you got?
Yeah, son, I can't stress enough how the Vault is a luxury retirement community at an economy price. It's in some old dungeons in the basement of Ishgard. We really get kind of the best of both worlds in this fabulous location, luxury amenities at an affordable price. And I think that's going to be our main draw to other budget-conscious retired dads like myself. You see, the Vault, in its luxury offerings, has an excellent spa and fitness rejuvenation program for its seniors. And with the deals they're running, I don't think anyone our age with a lick of sense could pass these up. The spa is, here, let me look in the brochure. Yes, the spa is called Realms Reborn. It's guaranteed to be a fresh new way to experience your Final Fantasy facilities. Here, looking further, the state-of-the-art fitness facility on site is built for what they call the Heavensward fitness program. It's an exercise program simulating combat. It's very active, very hip. And they have these new state-of-the-art rejuvenation treatments called Stormblood. It's a series of, juices and cleanse. I don't know what the details, but it
you got two more expansions to jam in here. So.
Stormblood. And that is what's going to bring other active, like-minded seniors to this fabulous location. Now, you said a hostile environment. We all know that people exaggerate how dangerous the city is. We will be fine in the hustle and bustle of big city, especially with our new Heavensward fitness program, making us the lean, mean kickboxing machines we always meant to be, and the Stormblood pumping through our veins. We will be fine going to even the less savory parts of Ishgard.
You've created a different Florida, just a different Florida with different drugs. I believe that is what you've done here today.
Because ultimately, we all want to retire to our own flavor of Florida.
I want to say you're wrong.
Am
but
I?
I know what you mean, and you're not.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You get it.
I mean, it's just a different Florida with different steroids.
Add that to a topic at the end for the post show. What is your flavor of Florida?
What's your Florida?
Yeah. Oof. Well, bad news, my dads. Your enterprising spirits are maybe too good, and now you've built yourselves each a utopian commune for old people on the fringes of society. Whoops. Well, now it's time to take up arms and claim a nearby community as your own. Because, I don't know, that's how you got to survive. What Final Fantasy city, town, or village will you be taking over as your own, and how will you do it?
Andrew, look, Macalania Woods has connections to a couple of other places. You got Macalania Lake to the north. You got something called the Calm Lands, something called the Thunder Plains. You also...
That's a good job.
You got this... Thanks. I read the wiki. You also got this little town called Bevel. Now, I like Bevel. I've been there a few times. There's some nice shops. There's some decent stores. It's a little too crunchy for me, but that's okay. The last time I was in Bevel, I came across another local music group, and we offered this band called the Warrior Monks of Bevel an opportunity to open for the group now calling themselves the Protectors. You might remember them as the ancestral protectors of the Macalania Woods. Wasn't marketable.
Sure. It's a Prince, artist formerly known as Prince situation. There were some record disputes
exactly
as well. Yeah.
So now they're the Protectors. I'll be clear, it's not the Pretenders or the Proclaimers. This is the Protectors. But anyway, the Warrior Monks of Bevel, they were so excited to join on as an opener that they've actually signed a contract with us here at the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino of Macalania. And in that contract, it says they're not allowed to guard the gates of Bevel anymore. They're just not allowed. It's a non-compete contract. They can only do things here. So we've pretty much eliminated most of the defense of Bevel. And now I hear what you're saying. There's a big, scary bird fiend, worm, wraith thing that also guards the gates of Bevel. I had her name written down and I closed the tab, so I don't remember what it is. But
It doesn't matter.
we have the power of collective old people spending. And cities will bend the knee when you remind them that the olds prop up the economy. So I'm sure that with the warrior monks on our side and the people of Bevel too scared to lose the old people purses, they're just going to ask that big dragon to leave and we'll absorb their town so that we can open, yep, you guessed it, the Bevel Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Perfect. It is Bevel, but similar to
That's what I said. Bevel.
But no, but I also like the bit that you've created, the kind of the vibe that you've created. That like, of course, we'd call it Bevel here in Macalania.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's what
I
all the
love that.
locals call it.
Yeah,
It's a real. Everybody who lives in Nevada knows it's pronounced Nevada.
sure.
Unless you're in the city of Nevada here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
is that real?
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
man.
the people of Reno, Nevada. The people of Reno, Nevada know how it's pronounced.
That's like it's New Delhi in Ohio, where like in
That
India.
sucks.
Is that actually pronounced New Delhi? I've seen that as
That
New Delhi
sucks.
on maps for 10 years.
No, it's New Delhi.
That sucks.
That is an incredibly an Ohio thing. All
It is
right.
a very Ohio thing.
Okay, so Matt's going to storm the gates of Bevel with mergers and acquisitions. Todd, what do you got?
Well, you see Andrew here. We've been here at Castlemark Tower for a bit. You know, you, me, my dozen or so drinking buddies, we were successful here. We did claim the Sword of the Tall. We did defeat the level 58 Jabberwock, which is a real danger if I'm led to believe by reading through the walkthrough.
It is really, it's a very tough boss, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is an optional dungeon. We didn't even have to be here for the story purposes, but we're here.
Hey, did you read through the walkthrough or the Jabber walkthrough?
Answer the question, Todd.
Just the normal walkthrough. Man, I hate that joke. Anyway, what you see is we've been here for a good long time, leaning up against stones and smoking meats. But it's about time that we have the talk. You see, there comes a time in every man's life when well, he becomes a man. And one day, you too will understand the siren song of just getting a bunch of your friends together in makeshift riot gear purchased at a secondhand army surplus store and stomping around here in the wilderness. As you can see by me and all my friends dressed up in makeshift riot gear purchased at a secondhand army store and stomping around in the wilderness, that day is today. Because we're all jumping in my convertible, as well as all my friends' matching convertibles, and we're going to reclaim what is properly ours. See over there? That space over there? It's a word with a lot of vowels in it. I guess it's probably pronounced Klein.
Clane.
Klein. That was close.
Yeah, we're close.
But more importantly than Klein, we are going to claim. That's not a pun I thought I'd make here.
Definitely intentional.
We're going to claim dominion over what is perhaps the most important artifact in this land. And that is the Burboss Souvenir Emporium. That's ours now. We will be taking over the Burboss Souvenir Emporium with our riot gear. Because we're going to need to fulfill all of our beef jerky and sporting goods needs. And where else could we do that in what I assume is one convenient emporium of a shop? It's kind of, in my mind, like taking over a Buc-ee's. That's what we're going to do.
I was thinking more like a grandpa's cheese barn.
Somewhere in between. Certainly in between. Different, but similar. Yeah, so using the power of overweight boomers in riot gear that we bought at the secondhand Army Navy surplus store, we're going to take over Grandpa's Cheese Barn today, aka the Burbost Souvenir Emporium.
Their artillery is almost exclusively empty beer bottles.
Certainly.
Their cavalry is on rascals.
They're the spider motorcycles that have the two front tires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's funny.
Moving at the speed of cool.
What makes this so funny to me is the only person that's played FF15 and it famously doesn't like it. One of the big points of contention is that there like really are no towns in the game. Yeah. There's like one town that you go to, and all of the quote like towns are just these like what they call outposts, which are literally just like a gas station and some person just standing around. So it's very funny to me that like, yeah, the next town over is a gas station and an item
souvenir shop. Yeah.
You would imagine my surprise when
funny.
I Googled Final Fantasy 15 towns and it was like, nope. You're not going to find those here.
Barking up the wrong tree, sir.
It was that TikTok quote, not around here, Potter. Not around here.
Kyle, how are you taking over I assume the Holy See of Ishgard since you're starting in the dungeons?
Look, we're not taking over the Holy See of Ishgard. We know better than to like claim a holy site. However, just outside the Holy See of Ishgard, Andrew, is a new developing town called the Firmament. It's, up and coming, lots of youth culture, lots of things for young people starting their life's journey out to enjoy, a lot of affordable housing and things for people just getting started in life to enjoy. And we hate it. We in the Vault retirement community hate it's loud. Everything's weird and different. So we are going to, especially because the property values there are still pretty low, we're going to buy up all of the property in the Firmament and turn it into things we enjoy, like smoked meat emporiums and Christmas ornament shops that we will only go to once a year.
Good.
Mechanical mattress stores, because we have bad backs, but we don't want those mattress stores near us because we don't go to them often enough that we need to walk there. So we're going to put them in the Firmament where they aren't going to be in the way of the things that we really want to do. The big part of this, though, Andrew, is getting that wild youth life out of the Firmament because it's causing problems for everyone else. I mentioned before the danger, the hassle of living in a big city. It all comes from places like the Firmament where the youths, the youngins, like to congregate. They smoke their cigarettes and
a lot of coded language here, Kyle.
the NIMBY heel turn of Kyle in question 3 has been wild.
Yeah. So we're gonna buy up the Firmament and make it just a extension of all the great things the Vault has to offer seniors.
It feels like I'm sitting in a town hall meeting in Bexley, Ohio.
And for those listeners unfamiliar, just imagine like Parks and Recs town halls, but more pretentious.
Yeah. Eagleton town halls.
Eagleton.
Town halls.
It is an Eagleton town hall.
Excellent. All right. Well, where are we? Yep, we're at the super secret bonus question. Got it. This can stay in. That's fine. Okay, guys. So you've explained how you're going to build up your community. You've explained how you're going to take over and somehow annex the nearby town. One last thing is missing, though. The three of you are, hey, you're great, but you're not public-facing individuals, right? You don't have that kind of pastiche. I think the best way, history has shown, the best way to truly forcibly annex a town is to establish a puppet monarch of sorts. Somebody that the people know, that they trust, right? Then they can follow to whatever ends. So when we come back from the break, I want you to tell me that FF party member that's going to serve as your puppet monarch is going to be kind of your voice of this new forced regime. This took a turn. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Are you itching for a good story? Laughter among friends, maybe even a mystery or two? Well, you're in luck. Fire Breathing Kittens is a standalone Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Each episode is a separate 3-hour-long story, like a movie for your ears, so you can listen to these adventures in any order you like. So join us on a real play D&D quest as we solve mysteries, attempt comedic banter, and enjoy friendship. Fire Breathing Kittens podcast, fantasy, action, mystery, friendship.
And we're back. All right, one by one, please tell me the iconic Final Fantasy party member that you are enlisting as your puppet monarch. Matt, we'll start with you.
Absolutely, Andrew. See, the puppet monarch of the Macalania Woods will, of course, have their office on the top floor of the Macalania Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Keep forgetting you built a Hard Rock Cafe.
And when it comes to a live music venue like a Hard Rock Cafe and Casino, what you need is a stage presence, a producer of sorts that will actually be the voice to the people, that those who attend the shows will know, and they'll say, hey, I know that guy, he's putting it on, and I'm going to be there. And it turns out, Andrew, in Final Fantasy lore, specifically in Final Fantasy XD2, there's actually a stage producer. His name's Toby. We'll call him Toby. It's definitely Tobley, but he's going to be our puppet monarch because Tobley, to read from finalfantasy.fandom.com/wiki/Tobley, is a highly excitable stage producer in Final Fantasy X-2. So that's a thing.
This guy. Okay. Yeah, no, yep. Okay. Cool.
Can we get a picture of Tobley?
Yeah,
It's not going to help. It's not going to help anybody, but
That's the reason why I'm not looking it up.
I got it.
Will
I'll
not
throw
help
it in
anyone.
there. Hold on.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got
He
it.
was apparently the voice of Rob Paulson, who famously did Yakko Warner in Animaniacs, among 1,000 other cartoons.
Oh.
All I'm saying is that when you commit to a Hard Rock Cafe and Casino bit, and you find a guy that the Final Fantasy Wiki describes as a stage producer, you bring that man in as your monarch.
You do
It's
it.
just what you do.
Yeah, no, I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
Again, strangely animalized human,
Yeah.
much to Matt's kind of thing.
Just because he wears a duck mask doesn't make him an animalized human.
Is that a mask or is that attached? That is a question
It
I don't
says
have
that
an answer
his
to.
race is Pelu Pelu. I turned to Andrew to tell me what that is.
That feels like
That
a bird
feels
penguin
like
race.
a man with
Oh,
a
wait,
a man
hold
with
on.
a penguin.
Nope, shut
bill.
up. Physical description, humanoid, comma, short, comma, wear bird-like mask.
Okay.
All right.
You know what?
Gotta
We can
give him
put
that
one tally not in the perverted animal people of Matt's choosing.
Not a
counter
single thing that I said today was
Oh.
perverted. I merely talked about
today.
a Hard Rock Cafe and Casino.
Today being the operative word.
Today, which I mean, Hard Rock Cafe is a bit perverted in its own right, but that's a different column.
Different type of perversion. Great. Todd, who are you bringing?
Yeah, so when you say we need a dad from Final Fantasy, we need the Final Fantasy dad. And you got to ask yourself the question, what is a dad? What makes a man a man?
What is a dad?
Who is a dad? A dad he's just a real guy. Just a dude who knows how to get down to business. In Final Fantasy, it's got to be someone who's fought God with the power of friendship.
Has a child.
Yeah. Someone who has at least some problematic views that they got to work through. Someone who knows how to party, And I think most importantly, a dad who speaks longingly of his old sports days. So, of course, we're going to get everyone's favorite Final Fantasy X, because that's how you count in Final Fantasies. A party member turned literal rad dad Waka. We're going to get Waka because in the lore, Waka and Lulu have a baby, so he's a legit dad.
He is a dad.
So, wait, under your breath, did you just agree with me? Is that what just happened there?
He is a dad. He is a dad.
Feels good. Okay, so, yeah, you're getting Waka, and he's going to spend a lot of time talking about how good he used to be at Blitzball in the old orb, the swimming orb.
How he could have gone pro if he didn't
Could have gone
get
pro if it
that, get
weren't
that
for
knee
that
injury.
If it weren't for fighting God with the power of friendship, he would have gone pro.
Yeah, and his torn ACL.
And his torn ACL. It was the meniscus is what got him.
Kyle.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm glad you asked. So I've started filling out the paperwork for the vault already. There is a new resident at the vault that is just crowd favorite. Everyone loves her. Her name is Yuna, and we think she is going to be a perfect puppet monarch for our takeover of the firmament. So here's the thing. Yuna is very popular because she is able to summon all of the residents, just summon their dreams into reality. That's the thing she can do. She's a summoner. She brings all of our dreams into life. she's also incredibly eager to please. She's a go-getter, and she's a little bit naive. So I think we can convince her that us running the firmament, taking that over, is going to be better for everybody there than if they are allowed to develop and expand of their own volition. So she's going to use her summoner powers to help us summon aeons to persuade the people of the firmament to hear our side. And we think
to threaten the younger people to
persuade the people of the firmament to hear our side of the argument and how we are right and they're not as right as we are and should really just listen to our plans.
You're going to turn your NIMBY into their YIMBY.
What is that? What does that mean?
NIMBY being not in my backyard, YIMBY being
yes in my backyard.
Well, I learned new slang today.
It's gross.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's bad. Okay, that was a really good pick, but I can't give you her power to make everyone's dreams a reality. I can't grant you that one.
I don't know, Andrew. I'm more or less paraphrasing her wiki page. I think it counts.
Okay. All right. I've got some thinking to do. I've got to mull this around quite a bit. Let's hear some closing statements.
Which dad gets to retire?
Yeah, which dad gets to retire, and which the other two has to be a wage slave for the rest of their life. Let's hit me with some of those closing statements.
My frail, squishy, derelict son boy, Andrew.
Good.
Derelict.
Derelict is good.
I have dreamed for years of being the owner of a franchised national food chain. I also used to dream about being a live performing musician. Now, life didn't gift me in the talent department, but it did gift me in the economy department. And if you give me this opportunity to open a Macalania Hard Rock Cafe and Casino, I will make sure you're always on the guest list. And how nice will that be? To see a show when you come visit your old man.
It does sound pretty nice.
Here, I gather you today to stand at the grave of our recently passed sick small son, Andrew. For he was so sickly and small, and he was also our son. And if there's one thing that I think he wanted us to have, us being me, it was a place where I could reflect on old war history. And, if you remember when the wildfires, the smoke swept across the United States and really impacted the air quality for like a week, imagine that, but it's delicious meat smoke. A meat smog, if you will.
Oh, no.
And I think it's truly, for all the things I've done for you, I deserve that level of meat smog in my lungs 24/7.
Remember this catastrophe that affected the entire nation?
This thing that made life really terrible for a lot of people.
Wouldn't it have been much better if that catastrophe smelled like meat the whole time? Is Todd's argument.
Wasn't meat, just smelled like it.
Meat.
What I'm saying is, I believe I deserve a basement bunker where I can have savory meat smoke pumped into my eyeballs. End of sentence.
Nailed it.
Son, paying to send me to the vault is really an investment in your future as well. Because not only am I going to get to pass the great cultural experience of being in, effectively, Final Fantasy Vatican onto you, like you're going to get that from me. We're going to get to go to all the museums together. We're going to get to see great old architecture and art that's thousands of years old from around the world. You get all that, and you're going to get your very own subdevelopment within the firmament as well when we persuade the residents there to move somewhere more appropriate for them so that we can develop the firmament into a place more suitable for the residents of the vault to hang out in. You get a part of that. I'm going to take your inheritance and put it into a portfolio of real estate development in the firmament. So really, this is, you're leaving money on the table if you don't pay for my retirement at the vault. You're stealing, you're robbing from your own future there.
Good point. I would say that may or may not be a better point based on if I am actually dead, which is honestly unclear.
I don't think you're dead. I don't
think you're. Yeah.
No.
I feel like, Todd, you may disagree with me.
Well, he hasn't moved in weeks, so the iron lung is showing minimal life signs.
Okay. So
How many times do we have to tell you that depression is a real condition that our son deals with? And if you keep minimalizing it like this,
all right,
he's not going to come visit you.
This is steering into a real place.
This sucks. Good vibes now. Bye.
Yeah, okay. These dumb Final Fantasy episodes are like unironically some of my favorite because the three of us come from the exact same playing field of knowing nothing. And so it's really who can come up with the best
who can wiki
bit.
best.
Yeah, like what's the best bit you can Mad Lib off a Wikipedia page, and I think that's really, really fun. Kyle, you did the Final Fantasy free 14 Heavensward thing.
Critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 has a free trial and includes an entirety of Realms Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restriction on playtime. Yes.
That and whatever you called an MMORPG, but for olds, I liked that.
A massive multi-occupant retired person's gathering.
So good. So freaking good. Todd, man, dads and old military stuff, huh? That was when I met my girlfriend's dad for the first time. We sat alone in the beach house in silence for 2 hours and watched History Channel. And I think that's how I connected with him. So I really resonate with that. I think that's very good. I'd love to lean against an old stone and smoke some meat.
Matt, the thought of a Final Fantasy dad wanting to retire and start a Hard Rock Cafe is really good. I love that energy that was brought today. Much like you said, these episodes, like I've played 2.5 Final Fantasy games, so I've got like a little bit of knowledge, but it's minimal. And you're 100% right.
Was it that you played Final Fantasy 13.5 and you're counting that as 1.5 games, and then you played another Final Fantasy game?
I played Tactics Advance, and I played through most of 10, and just a little bit of 7. So like quite literally like 2.5 total games.
Have you not played the original Tactics?
Only the iPad version.
Oh, the iPad one.
Yeah, the Lions, whatever.
Yeah.
But Matt, you're spot on. Like you Google something, and after about the third thing you Google, you say, "What do I got here?"
Yep.
And you just kind of like go from there. It's the underpants gnome of step 1, collect underpants, step 2, step 3, profit only for Final Fantasy bits. And getting to a Hard Rock Cafe is excellent. Kyle. So on my iPhone, I have a shortcut where if I type ADR and hit space, it just auto-populates my address. I feel like that's what you did with like the Final Fantasy critically acclaimed MMORPG whole bit. Like you queued that up, and so when you were typing out whatever notes you were having to remember how to say that, it was just there, ready for you.
You're not too far off.
And again, I can't get over the fact that you've created what is either a wonderful retirement home or a place where they're turning people into life juice, or a real perv situation, or somewhere in between on that Venn diagram.
Yeah, there's no reason it can't be all of those things.
I do love that you actually did, out of anyone who did the homework, you did the homework, and I do really appreciate it for all the reasons that Matt pointed out as well.
Thank you. Matt, the casino retirees are like an offshoot of cruise retirees that no one talks about, and like good on you for tapping into that vein for your answer today, because like the couple of times I have been in a casino, you can see the casino retirees hanging out, and they're a thing. And Hard Rock Cafe builds its foundation on their spending, so good for you. Also, the Macalania Appalachian connection, incredible. And then, Todd, you have crafted the perfect, I think, like Midwestern retiree situation where, they get to drive no further than like 4 hours from their home. They get to see a site they've probably seen 5 or 6 times already, but they get to act like it's something new, something cultural they're learning. And the straight inhalation of freebasing meat smoke is, I think, part of the boomer dad experience that we are all familiar with. So, again, good job. Art imitates life.
I will echo, before I give my decision, I will echo all of these good vibes. Just to reiterate, thank you guys. Thank you, all three of you, for continuing to play in this weird space. It is very fun for me as well. Being the only person who has the context for the three of you to come with your wikiing and honestly, like, pretty much nail it every time. So thank you. Matt, I was impressed with your answer. Macalania would probably be one of my top 3 answers. It's one of my favorite dungeon field, whatever you want to call, in an FF game. But more importantly, the fact that you brought up the stupid Guardian Spirits as a band because they look so dumb. Did you get a picture of them by chance?
I did, yeah. If you give me 1 second.
We might want to, it might be good to get a visual in there.
Yeah,
just to
I'll get that.
Really hone in on it. I also want to give props to Kyle for, 1, for the MMORPG deal, but 2, for having to kind of change direction at the last second because I actually'd his original answer, which was the Firmament, which is unfortunately was close, but was like, that's kind of a...
He set the limitation that this has to be a, like, not a town, and I misunderstood the wiki entry for the Firmament, and
because
it was
it's both. Because it's both. Because, like, it was introduced as, like, this kind of play space where you were building, like, the player characters are like building a residential area. It just is a residential area now in the current expansion, which is just so many layers of, like, annoying actuallying. So I sorry for that, but my winner today is going to be Todd, and the reason for that is I cannot get past. I just, like, there is something in my body and my soul that is, like, kind of craving just, like, hanging out in some ruins, digging for bullets, for old bullet casings, and smoking meat and listening to Pink Floyd. Like, it sounds like a good time, man.
It is exactly that.
And that's exactly what we will do on the next Debate This hosts retreat that we have.
Can we? That sounds great.
We're gonna hotbox that cabin with meat smoke.
Man, it really does sound great. Well, that is for our annual perennial Final Fantasy Dad extravaganza. Thanks everybody for listening in to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Debate This Cast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. Now, there's good news and bad news, dear listeners. The bad news is that the Spooktacular Express is officially out of commission after being taken over by ghost aristocrats and having been suplexed by a dude named Sabin. Yes, that's a Final Fantasy reference, but the good news is that you can still get your fill of all the spookums by visiting patreon.com/debatethiscast and subscribing for $5 a month for our premium feed. There, you'll have immediate access to both of our Halloween-themed episodes of Deconstructed, our brand new Disney Channel original movie discussion show, or just check out last week's breakdown of Halloween Town on the free feed. I'm not your dad. Until next time, I'm Andrew Henderson.
I'm Matt. The FDA is warning against secondhand protein. Cole.
I'm Todd. Final Fantasy PEMDAS -2 Sokotoa Thomas.
And I'm Kyle. Cast a heal spell on a pig. Call that cured ham. Harper.
It's good. And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.